side too. Let's get it. Happy Monday, family.
What up, yo?
What's up?
G-Body Benz. G-Body
You rocking the Boxem hoodie, Miles?
Oh yeah.
That limited edition?
Yeah. Dude, it's not as limited as the buy box Bandits, but I did lose my buy box Bandits and Danny's one, so I think there's one left in existence, and I haven't seen Garrett with his on in a long ass time, so there might be none currently.
I lost mine a while ago.
Okay.
It didn't make the previous move.
It's funny. What's up, Brad? Byron, your biz on track. Julian, good to see you guys.
YBOT, good to see you, YBOT.
Yeah, you've been in the streams.
Yeah, YBOT's been about it. Yeah, we're live now. Cool.
We live.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let us know if you guys have Amazon questions we can answer. Coming into a very important time of year. Lots of good Labor Day sales just went down. There's still honestly a couple, which is bizarre, but I was sourcing one earlier today.
2 weeks ago or last week?
It was last week. Yeah.
Wonder how much panic is happening about what, Brad?
Life is good.
What is there to panic about?
We buy some products, we sell them.
Yep, you go back to PA and dice up G-Body Benz and pickleball this weekend. Be like that sometimes.
What are the twos? Me and Max versus you and Steven?
I don't know if Steven's here, but Steven could be a potential liability. I know I'm targeting Max.
Said a liability.
I'm targeting Max's backhand every time.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on getting or renting a thermal printer?
Renting a thermal printer is crazy. It's they're like $200.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just added 30 up labels to Boxem today too. So if you need to not use a laser printer for a second, you can. You got the option now, but you want the rollout pretty soon anyway.
Yeah.
Charge first 2 VAs.
Dymo was like the standard.
It was like it, dude. Yeah.
2 years ago.
I can't see anyone who has a Dymo that's like more than 2 years old that's not just like shredded.
I'd be fucking up Dymos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing broke every other week.
Yeah, literally. Good times though, for sure.
Absolutely. What up, Willie? Hired your first 2 VAs, Luca. That's what's up, man. I think you were on stream asking about it recently, right?
Yep, that's exactly how it's done. Greetings. I downgraded instead of business. Amazon seller account. Is there a reason I cannot? That's a good question. Either way, I mean, there's just nothing good about the individual account, like period. Basically, like even if like the $40 a month is a lot, it's just the mindset of it, man. You can't have the individual. You can't have the
yeah, it's you have a harder time getting ungated and using software. So it's you kind of just need it.
Yeah.
Sabrina, like 50 cents, 60 cents per pound is going to be pretty decent, especially with the inbound placement fees. 50 cents, 60 cents will be a good estimate.
Yeah, it's also going to depend specifically what you're selling to. Shoes will tend to be more expensive. Yeah, just in terms like the way the warehouses work and the way just kind of sizes break down. They fit in different boxes as well too. Should you ungate while finding profitable products? Just got my seller account approved. Attaboy, Alex. Yeah, bro, 100%. So the cool thing is there's a ton of stuff you can sell from day one. Any small brand you don't recognize, there's probably like a 50% chance of getting you going from the get-go. And then anytime you come across something, as long as it lets you apply and other folks are selling it, you'll be good to go to get that stuff moving.
Oh yeah. Garrett, were you a sad man on yesterday afternoon?
I was expected, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's cool to watch the games, but
yeah. Danny was at the game.
Yeah,
a sad one to go to. How do you keep track?
To go with like his dad is his.
That's a good vibe. Yeah.
Vibe out for the afternoon.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
I'm hitting Thursday night football this week.
Listen, I go into the Monday night game next Monday. Eagles Falcons.
What up, Corey?
Well, my bad. I've been on the phone with my dad for a little bit.
Oh, that's respectful.
That's only.
That's the first. That's the first non-kickable excuse to be late.
Right.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Oh, I like the supplier flow. Is that a light above you there, Garrett? That's sick.
What do you think it is, Corey? What do you think?
What it looks like. What it looks like to me. I was waiting for that.
What up, Corey? Hope you had a good weekend, dog.
Yeah.
What you got on the counter there?
Rice cooker.
That's the Instapot, bro.
No,
Instapot.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the loop for cooking good food. That's really easy.
Spray.
Nice. Okay.
Sweet. How do you keep track on OA purchases, tracking information, make sure the right product was sent? Yeah, look, now that you have a VA, it'll be a lot easier. Have them track like over time. Like for us, if the prep center hasn't shipped it out after 3 weeks, then we're gonna track it down from the supplier. Is how we do it, right? Or at least they have marked it received. You can do whatever you want in that time horizon, but 3 weeks is good because usually a month will be like the window, so you give them a chance to let it show up. And then yeah, it's just all Google Sheets for now, unfortunately. Put it on a tracking number, all that kind of stuff.
Said uploading invoice ATM. Pumped. Yes, sir. ILI. Let's get it. ILI. Been talking in the streams a lot lately. What would be the best way to scale? Yeah. So kind of in a really, really broad sense, the only way to make more money with this stuff is to sell more of your existing catalog or find new ASINs, of which the answer is going to be both. In respect to getting kind of more micro, stuff that tends to lead to really quick scale is merchant filling hard on a couple listings that do really well for you, but you got to test a ton to find those, right? Getting into the easier part of the year here, the next 4 months here from now, pretty much like early January, FBM becomes a lot more relevant this time of year. And so just that basically, and then FBA and stuff, box M2D barcodes, make sure you get those quick check-in times. And then another really good thing we all did was just get in the community and find other cool sellers to work with is a really, really important thing as well.
Miles hit it on the head though, right? You have two options in terms of growing your bottom line, buying more of the same stuff or buying more new stuff. And buying more of the same stuff is I would go and outpace the latter 10 times out of 10, right? It's easier to order 100 as opposed to 10 instead of trying to find 5, 10 different SKUs, right? So going deeper on stuff you've already validated is always going to be the better approach.
And to add to that too, just simply keeping your best products in stock can make 100%. You so much money because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you put in all this work to find these great products. If you don't keep them in stock, then every day that you're out of stock, I would look at it as you're like losing X amount of money per day. Ooh. So just simply staying in stock helps quite a bit.
And Amazon gives us the data that suggests the longer you stay in stock, the more buy box percentage they will reward sellers with, right? You can go in so many different SKUs and kind of toggle through the 180, the 90, the 30. And the sellers that have been in stock for all that period of time go from 2%, then they go to 10%, and they go to 20%, right? The sellers who prove trustworthy in Amazon's eyes, Amazon's going to reward a buy box percentage, right? So even if you don't add any ASIN over the course of a couple months, even if you stay in stock on those particular ASINs, your business will still grow, right? Obviously, you want to continue to add ASINs, but if you can stay in stock while adding new ASINs, that's going to exponentially grow your business.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about like big sellers hog sales. That's all they're doing. They're just staying in stock. It's not because they've been on the platform for forever.
It just makes so much sense, right? Amazon wants stable sellers that they can trust and they can depend on. Yeah. And of course, the longer you stay in stock, the more diversified your inventory becomes over the course of the geography of the country. And so you have products that end up in Oregon, in Texas, in Pennsylvania, in Maryland, in Florida, right? And so you just have much more access to consumers. Question for Garrett, how long would you give a wholesaler to ship your order before you chase them? Well, I mean, it should be a transparent, open conversation, right? That should be one of you shouldn't be buying inventory without having a sort of like a timeline in terms of when that order is shipped, right? And so that should be in the very, very, very beginning. Your first couple conversations with a sales rep is what's the timeline of kind of shipping orders, the terms of payment, right? Can you prep to Amazon? Right? Is it wire? Is it credit card? Is it Melio? Like, how can you pay? All these things should be questions you should be asking in the beginning to audit suppliers from each other, right? And so when it comes to that first order, you should automatically know the sort of timeline to be expected. And if not, you should understand that ASAP because that's super important.
And also too, I mean, it could be a situation where like I've had suppliers do this before where they give you a lead time. They say, hey, it'll be 2 weeks, right? And then 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, it's going to be another week. A week later, they're like, oh, it's going to be another 2 weeks. And like, they kind of just play this game where they continue to lead you on. So in that case, right, I try to get crystal clear with them and saying like, give me a final date. If it's not here by that date, then I'm going to cancel my order, right? Like it's not unreasonable to cancel after a certain point if they're kind of stringing you along. You just want to kind of set that line in the sand.
The other thing is it also depends on how much you're invested, right? If you are sort of like a handshake order where it's like they're pre-ordering for you and you have no skin in the game, probably have a little bit more leniency as opposed to like you being 100% invested in inventory and you're playing that game that Corey's talking about.
Right. Exactly. And there's another really good wholesale question here. So for contacting wholesale distributors and brands, do I have to have a website, and what do I include in that website? So you don't 100% have to have a website. You do have to have a professional email address, though, something more so than just a Gmail, right? Like your name at yourcompany.com. That's really going to help increase your response rates. And then from there, as far as having a legit website, again, you don't have to have one. It will certainly help you, right? A good website will help you. And it can just be as simple as a one-page website about, hey, this is my company and this is what we do, right? Simple as that. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to explain every single thing you do. Just from a high level, you're a retail business, retailer or distributor.
Right, their deadline to ship tomorrow. I'm getting nervy. You should have probably heard from them if they're supposed to be shipping tomorrow.
How can you avoid products that are on sale both on Amazon and where you are sourcing from? Ooh, okay. In regards to basically Amazon selling them, Capita USA, or what specifically do you mean? Do you see or know a solution when applying for a brand? It says your account does not qualify. Typically, that means your account isn't fully active. From what I've seen, I've also seen that as an issue for international sellers, and I've seen that getting sales tends to solve that quicker. But Hassan, where are you located? Is it too late to FBA Halloween stuff? No. However, probably about 2 or 3 weeks from now it will be, but it'll be an absolutely phenomenal time to FBM Halloween stuff. So I think you're still going to go FBA and that stuff. However, Purple Apron, if the listings are showing that they're FBM friendly right now, let's hop in those things FBM right now. I love the idea of doing that.
Yeah, just be careful on costumes and stuff. They have the highest return rate of anything on Amazon. So just price it in like 60% ROI and above on that type of stuff.
And then, unless you have years and years of experience, I wouldn't even mess with FBA. Like the upside is so much more. It's so much more slim in comparison to the risk, right? Because if you think about timeline, your products are only good for the time period that the consumers are looking for, right? So say you get stuck in FC transfer for a couple of weeks too late, and your costumes are in FBA getting checked in October or November 1st. Well, that inventory is useless, worthless. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't master the timeline for FBA for that sort of seasonal stuff, it could be severely, severely detrimental to like your liquidity. And so like Ronald was saying, like it just makes so much more sense. Not to say you could ignore those sorts of seasonal opportunities, just FBM them, right? Run some keyword product finder searches, search for like keyword Halloween across Amazon's catalog, search for third-party FBM buy box, search for stuff that's increasing or decreasing in sales rank over the next couple of weeks. And you'll find a bunch of opportunities to FBM and act on pretty quickly without the risk of relying on Amazon's convoluted timeline.
This is a really good question for Tony here. How much should we worry about our inventory performance score? We closing listing the second last unit sales per the score. Screw the score unless you're very close to your restock limits, which basically no one is these days. Now that did used to be a massive issue back in the day though. Specifically during Q4 of 2021, I would wake up every Monday morning and pray that Amazon gave me more slots. And then just
those were dark times. It was
I remember that.
it was COVID, supply chain plus the warehouse being packed, and I don't think anyone's had an issue with it since then.
In a while, bro. Yeah.
I remember the conversations where it's like, oh, I can send in 50 units now.
Yeah. It's like we were actually sending out FBA shipments every day because it'd be like, oh, I got 80 units available. I got 100 units available.
Think about how inefficient that is too, to like doing new shipments every day. Like it's crazy how
it's what we had to do. Yeah, you had to do it.
You had to do that, bro. Yeah. Literally what you had to do. Yeah. Like it had no money. Yeah.
Yep. Somebody was asking earlier how to scale OA, which is a good question because I think a lot of people get like bottlenecked into, I have to do this, then this, right? So as far as scaling it, like a lot of people, you run into order cancels and all this other kind of stuff that slows down an OA business. It's all about finding like a rotation of, 5 to 10 websites that you're hitting all the time. And then another 5 to 10 that they ban you, you buy another $5,000, they ban you again. You just keep the cycle repeats, right? So a lot of you guys just need to start figuring out what are those sites where I can get a new renewable coupon that always works, that, it's a catch-all code. It's a 30% that rolls around every 6 weeks. And you just kind of study that kind of thing, right? And then for like time-wise, then that's where you start bringing people in, right? You're doing 50, 60K a month. You know what you're doing. You say, hey, here's exactly how I like to source my favorite thing. I'm going to go spend some time learning the ropes somewhere new. That's where you hire, VAs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Kendall, for example, Kendall's been crushing it on this one website. He's one of my coaching guys. And we, this one website, the discount is just like not amazing basically, but it's good enough. And you do small carts and you just print on it basically. And it only happens every now and again too. It's a very, very important one. Have you ever worked with manufacturers in other countries to bring their products to the US? No. Any of y'all have experience with that though?
So yeah, I've been talking to a brand, same brand for the last like 2 years now. They're based in Central America. They're already being distributed in the US, but they're based there and they basically want to start taking Amazon more seriously. So yeah, that's kind of my only experience there.
Yeah.
But I bought from importers, which are essentially distributors who are bringing products in from the manufacturer.
Yeah, I've imported. I haven't listed anything new of theirs though. It's great if you like, especially if you got relatives from another country, you're from another country, like a certain brand that is popular, just like, is expensive here. People can't get their hands on it. Then see what you can do. There's a lot of money to be made there.
I need more capital. I think I'm going to do some used books. Also can hold back on getting I mean, needing more capital is a good issue to have. It means you're doing the right things, you're buying the right things. Well, assuming the things, your stuff isn't sitting in FBA centers. Man, used books is, I wouldn't necessarily go that route. I would go and look for
like FBM retail arbitrage and just flip your
money.
Like possible.
I mean, look into payability. It's expensive, but it'll turn your money quicker. Look into maybe a loan from an uncle, an aunt, something like that. Look into, Amazon funding or Amazon lending. See if you have anything on your dashboard. Look into the Plum and use that with sort of like a retail arbitrage model, like Corey was saying. I'd start FBM a whole lot of stuff. The next 3 months, you can really change your life in terms of turning 5 into 10,000, 10 into 25, 25 into 60, because you can FBM so heavily and so consistently. The next 3 to 4 months can give you a whole lot of leverage if you look back.
Dude, used books. I mean, you have to screw up so catastrophically wrong.
To not make money.
Yeah, I mean, it is incredibly hard to lose money selling used books. Basically, under 1 million sales rank, if it shows movement on Keepa, and you're paying $2 or less, rip it, honestly.
Yeah, how would you even lose money doing used books?
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's possible.
It's just if something doesn't sell. Like I remember my used book days from when I was brand new. I had no idea how to read a Keepa graph. And every single thing I bought, it eventually sold. Some stuff it took 6 months, a year, 2 years. Some stuff obviously a lot quicker, but it's impossible to screw up. It's not that hard. But it's also the lowest leverage of all the Amazon business models, right? So your ROI on a lot of products is going to be hundreds, sometimes even thousands of percentage points, but it's going to take a lot of time to make money with that business, and it's very hard to outsource and scale.
Are you talking about used books?
Yeah.
I didn't even buy Keepa oh my gosh, the bolo was so hot the fire alarm went off. Hold up. You good, Corey? I need to give you a ban to get you. Okay.
You
banned him for the fire alarm going off.
Yeah. Shoes
neighbors cooking popcorn.
For shoes, I mean, probably like 60-70% ROI, probably minimum. Right? You want to be kind of counteracting the potential returns, the Nike, the ASICS shoes you get in return of the Nikes you sold, those sorts of things. There's a lot of dead money that's going to hurt you for shoes. So you want to kind of front load all the risk you can with as high of a margin as you possibly can. For me, that's 25-30% margin, probably equivalent to 70, 80, 65% ROI.
Have a good spot to sell anything that's gently used too. Mercari is great, better than eBay for shoe returns.
Ooh. Okay. This question there, yeah. Bro's suggesting friendly fire here. Do not ban the resellers. Do not ban the resellers, Brooks. Do not do it. Do not do it.
But Brooks, in all seriousness, so it's actually technically against brand registry rules to just submit IP complaints where nobody's actually, violating any IP rules. Sending cease and desist letters isn't going to work, right? Most experienced sellers, especially, are just going to shred those. So really the only way to truly get your listings in line and cut people off is just to control your distribution. So that's where you got to spell it out to the brand. Hey, the only way you're going to control Amazon is knowing exactly who's getting your product. And so if they're very widely distributed, if they have a bunch of distributors they sell to, it's going to be very difficult to enforce that. But if, for example, they sell directly to all their retailers or they only have 1 or 2 main distributors, then it's going to be a little easier. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you just got to control distribution.
When will all the big brands unlock? I can't ungate them. Yeah, so basically, for anyone who's unfamiliar, a couple brands currently are not available for newer sellers. This could be permanent. It could not be. Something very similar happened for about a 2-week period in April. And then most of them dropped off. That could be the case again. It also could not be the case. However, long-term, anytime Amazon has shut down a brand for new and existing sellers, they've given us a 30-day heads up. And to my knowledge, they haven't given a 30-day heads up on any brands recently. So I would assume they will come back.
The Nike Ungate also unlocked. Is it still unlocked?
It's not open for new people.
It was if you had ever sold it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, which is
nice
as well. But yeah, which is lit for sure.
Tony, can you use Smart Scout to put in a customer's address and see if they're also a seller? I don't think so, but you can use that seller map feature, obviously, to find other sellers around you, and it'll give you their business address and all their information as well.
Yep.
Joe, I'm starting to run into sellers from Turkey. Seems to be scammers based on reviews. Anyone else seeing this?
Yeah.
Joe, I mean, Turkey's just like a popular country to like sell on Amazon from. It's a pretty popular business model over there. So I wouldn't necessarily say scam, but it just might be newer sellers. Who knows?
Unless they're like, that's why a lot of the gating stuff happened, because there's a bunch of like Turkish sellers that were obviously not selling legit stuff, so they had to lock down a little bit. Some unhappy Christmas gifts and that kind of stuff. I guess that'd be 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. 2022. That was when Section 3 was invented and was a super serious thing for a while. And weirdly enough, now in most cases is not a super serious thing. It totally can be though. Very hard to quantify from Amazon, and I have no idea why they've done it in such a ridiculous way.
Can you go hit the outlets? That's what's up, Luca. Good luck. Do you recommend buyers pay for shipping on FBM are you doing heavy stuff? I would still do free shipping, just psychologically. Just make sure it's priced in. And you'll notice everyone else, like based on their pricing, generally it'll be about even with FBA fees wise.
They're selling new items that haven't made 50 years.
That's fair. They're just goated at sourcing, Joe. Did you consider that?
That's hilarious, though.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Is contacting brands for their authorized distributors a good way to find suppliers? So Andrew, yeah, that's a really good way to find suppliers. In fact, that's probably the best and quickest way to find a bunch of authorized distributors from, any of the brands that you're interested in selling. So it's a great method.
That's a good point too, Brad. Yeah, buyers always pay. Yeah, because the key is that when you do FBA, you don't pay individual shipping, but you do pay the FBA fees. When you do FBM, you don't pay the FBA fees, but you do pay the individual shipping. Pretty much the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, got IP from Vans. Yeah, Vans is one of those brands that's you'll see a lot of big sellers on. It's one of those proceed at your own risk type of brands. Yeah, you should be able to be. IPs are easy as long as you're buying from legit sources, though.
Yeah, try boxing for free. I got some 2D barcodes in, family. We got 21 days, 22 days till Q4 kicks off. 2D barcodes. Q4 is going to be a movie. Y'all let us know any questions too. As well. My bad. No. ILI. That is completely and directly correlated to your good energy in the streams. First ungate with an invoice got approved in less than 2 minutes. WTF.
It's funny how that works.
Yes,
it's always yeah. That's awesome, man.
It is so true.
It's always, if you come in with good energy, you're asking, you got good questions. You gotta usually the profile pic. So the skeleton profile picture must count. Yeah, the skeleton counts, I think.
Yeah.
What did you say, Miles? It's like your luck is directly correlated to how many videos you post on Twitter or something.
That's really completely true, and it still holds true. I would recommend Instagram as well, too. That counts too. TikTok counts as well. But it is literally completely like it's there's such wild direct correlations there. Yeah. Should I would take out Mexico, Canada, Brazil. Does Boxem plan to offer integrations? Yes, those are in the pipeline. We have several good relationships. We are super excited to bring that out with. No direct plans though currently, or we have plans. Not kind of in motion yet, just because we want to get out these analytics pages for y'all.
Yep. Did you ever listen to my sponsor readout from the last pod?
Ever listen to it?
Yeah.
Should we play it out loud here?
I don't think it got posted yet.
No, Wi-Fi texted me as if he doesn't have the Google Drive folder.
Oh, don't play the beginning. Don't play the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah, we can
why
hit
not?
it.
Why
We
not?
can hit it in 5.
Wi-Fi said some sus stuff in the beginning.
Okay.
So if you play it from the rip, it's not gonna happen.
Good heads up.
What's up, Abdullah? Typical profit margin on wholesale. A lot of people shoot for like 10 to 15 on wholesale. Like net. If you're like the people who are like majorly scaled are like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
That's like the 9 figure guys. Best websites to engage that provide an invoice. Both of those that you said right there will work. You just got to keep submitting. Add your tracking info and a picture of the item.
Paul, typical profit margin on the wholesale. So a good like gross margin, general rule of thumb is going to be like 12 to 15%, somewhere around there. The more like the bigger you are as a seller, probably the lower end of that spectrum you're going to be on. And then in terms of net margin, 5 to 8. If you're netting 5 to 8% and paying yourself a pretty decent salary in the process, then you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, you pay yourself 10 a month, right? The rest gets reinvested. Yeah,
That's a good way to do it. Your profit first maxing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Andy, there's several prep centers that have that are using it for their clients already. You can just ask whoever you're using for the most part, unless they're just really set in their ways. It's an easy sell because it saves them time. It's kind of the whole idea, right?
Where you get your supplies when doing FBM anywhere possible. Walmart.
Yeah, Amazon.
The Boxery is an underrated website to get good shipping supplies too. They're slightly cheaper than Uline. And you can open a wholesale account with them too. It's theboxery.com.
Chad, can I borrow 100K, make 30% ROI, and it's basically free money? Okay, this is not a hotel here. That is absolutely not the way things work, and that is a horrible idea.
This is RuneScape money doubling.
Yes, or I mean,
yeah.
like,
drop your money, and I'll give you double, Pedro.
Good, dude. I used to be handing out.
Yeah, just be careful borrowing money, Pedro.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of sellers that have scaled great using debt, but based on the question, that kind of stuff, I would want you to be serious already.
It's one of those things too, where like unless you know every penny in your business, like unless you know every profit and loss in your business down to the penny, don't take on it.
Which most people don't.
Right. Most people
because
don't,
most people are using like Inventory Lab as a P&L, which is going to ignore tons and tons of fees. It's going to placement fees don't get picked up. There's going to be so many holes in your business if you just use that. Right. It needs to be QuickBooks connected to your credit cards, your bank statements, your payouts. That's going to be like the best way to dictate.
Probably said my prep center is my wife. That's why is that not how it works? Because what if you buy something that goes wrong? What if there's an issue with your Amazon seller account? Like there's a whole bunch of there's many things there. Half price box is great. W.
Yeah. Think about debt after a year plus down the line. You're tracking leakage. You have systems for everything, because that's where a lot of people if they added $1 million to the business, they don't have systems to know where money's leaking out, and it would amplify it. Debt amplifies exactly what you're doing. So if you have everything dialed in and you're crushing it, then it amplifies it.
Yeah, but a good rule of thumb is you need to know exactly what you're going to spend, exactly the return on that, exactly what you're going to pay, right? Exactly how much is the money going to cost, and you can run an entire P&L of that loan. And if it's profitable, it makes sense. If it's not, obviously it doesn't, right? But you need to know where you're going to spend it, all the fine print of every penny that's going into it to really make a decision.
What was your highest level in RuneScape?
I never got into it. I grinded Minecraft. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, oh, Minecraft is lit too. I never really grinded Minecraft.
Grind some prison servers.
I've been a Call of Duty guy like my whole life. That's always been my game.
For the record, I was an 82 woodcutter.
What is that?
That means you spent a lot of time doing that. Is what that means.
Yeah,
like a lot of time.
The problem was if I could do it over again, I would have just stayed up all night, because there were these special yew trees.
So nothing's changed. It's just products on Amazon now. Nothing has changed.
Everyone would be chopping the hell out of that shit like while in school and everything. I stopped playing video games.
Now we're chopping the hell out of some websites doing the same thing.
Printing wealth, yeah, big time printing wealth.
Kirk, it's probably like the UPS like lost your shipment or something there. You can submit for reimbursement.
And that happens too, guys. Like, especially if you're a newer seller, a lot of time, I feel like a lot of newer sellers get surprised when they send in a shipment and then something happens to it or it gets lost or damaged or whatever. And unfortunately, that is just part of the process. So that's why either using a good reimbursement service or having a good system in place for getting that money back when Amazon does lose your stuff is really important and helps, helps keep as much money in the business as possible. Question here, is it better to have lower pricing and higher sales volume or higher pricing for this upcoming Q4? So that's a good question. And it really depends on the product. And it also depends on the timing as well. So there are a lot of products where if you look at the Keep It graph, every single year, the price starts to tank heading into December. And then all of a sudden, when a lot of people run out of stock, the price jumps right back up. And then everybody that held their price high, that didn't get greedy and just want to make some quick sales, now starts making a ton of sales at a higher price, much higher margin. And again, this doesn't happen with every product, but this does happen with a lot of products. So just take a look at that keep up and try to make kind of guesstimates based on historical trends as to when you should hold your price high versus when you should keep it low and try to sell as many as you can.
Would
you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on like how efficiently you can acquire it, right? Do you have like a steady supply? Can you reorder whenever you need to, or if you don't, right? If it's something where it's like a one and done, like Thanksgiving stuff or Christmas decoration stuff, we want to probably be a little bit more greedy because it's a one shot kill. However, if it's something that you've been selling all year round, well, you could probably ride it down as long as it's obviously profitable, as well as ride it back up. So it depends on like your stock. If you can continue to replenish, then you have a lot more flexibility. Whereas if it's a one shot, then you probably want to maximize it.
Being a reseller, no experience. All right. What are some tips? Okay. In regards to what, G1X? Like what specific part of the equation, fam?
I mean, the cool thing is, right, the number one skill that's going to scale you to infinite levels in this business is sourcing. And the other cool thing is, within the four of us, we probably have hundreds of hours of live sourcing that are showing you exactly the methods that we use to find products every single day, right? Not to say it's the same products are going to be profitable for you, but it's the same tactics that are going to apply. It's the same reverse sourcing. It's the same manual sourcing. It's the same process to evaluate a product, whether good or bad, that you can learn from, apply to your own business. So it's those sorts of things that you need to be able to pull from the YouTube videos that we post. And that's why I post them, for you guys to learn, apply, and iterate for your own kind of business.
Right. Garrett, did you buy Solana at 125 when I told you to?
Of course not.
I mean, we're absolutely printing right now. So Corey, I'm looking at you too. Right there, we're absolutely printing. Okay.
Not financial advice. Buy some SPY once a week and forget about it until you're old. That's that's what you do.
What is it at, Miles?
135.
Paul said, I find a lot of brands or distributors don't want you to sell on Amazon. Do you just move on from these brands or sell anyways? So Paul, it depends. If it looks like a really attractive brand or a really attractive distributor and you really think there's potential there, then a lot of times I'll just follow up maybe once a month or every other month in perpetuity until I land the account or until they tell me just to stop. But if it seems just like kind of a run-of-the-mill brand or a run-of-the-mill distributor and they shut you down, then a lot of times it's just best to move on if they say they don't want you to sell on Amazon. Obviously, you want to ask why and try to overcome that objection. But if they really are firm on that, just move on.
No, don't be soft. Until you have a restraining order at your doorstep, call wives, call kids.
Didn't even tell Garrett to buy, but definitely a good trade. You should have picked up on telepathically. I find a lot of brands. Oh yeah, we already did that. Is it cheaper to FBM on some listings? Yeah, items that are above $20 but below £1, it tends to be a bit cheaper. Yeah.
It's gonna be the opposite on cheaper items because you're minimum paying $4 or $5 even if it's super light.
Yeah, beauty stuff's really nice for FBA. Grocery stuff's really nice for FBA. Clothing and that kind of stuff tends to be the best for FBM. Guys, Boxum is freaking fantastic. Nice job. It's got room for growth. Oh yeah, we got a ton of stuff coming for that too. Yeah, that's the important thing. Is that's why Boxum's so cheap right now is because it's very early, right? And you guys literally can try it out for free. Appreciate you, Kirk. right there. Yeah, appreciate you, Garrett. Yeah,
We got should be some more very fun stuff this week. Next week at the latest.
Yep.
Rolled
Yeah,
out
I'm
30
excited
app 30
for-
app labels
for
today
what's
as well.
to
If you guys are trying to save some money on the jump, don't have a label printer or a laser printer yet.
So Pedro asks, how do you keep track of your invoices? I've seen one of your videos. You said you could easily access any invoice quickly. So Pedro, we just keep all of our invoices in Google Drive. So we have one master invoices folder. And within that folder, we have a subfolder with the name of each supplier on it. So anytime we get an invoice from a given supplier, we save it as a PDF. We put it in that supplier's folder. And then we name the PDF, I think just the date and the supplier name. And the good thing about saving it in Google Drive is that when you search for a file in Google Drive, it will actually search the words on the documents as well. So if I need to find a given invoice for a specific product or a specific date, all I have to do is type the product name or the date into the search bar, and it's just going to pop right up. So it makes it really easy to find stuff.
Yeah. So I've had two hydro flasks since 2016. I think the first one made it like 4 years. Right there, you're
Drinking out of the IP complaint.
You're a 1,000,000% right, Bob. You really are. I mean, you couldn't have been more spot on with that comment. Warner, do you have a 2D barcode next to you?
I do. Yep.
Yeah. Show. Yeah.
You got to stay strapped with the 2D barcode. 2D barcode always has to be within arm's reach.
It is a good example.
So, yeah, exclusive. You auto print these on your FBA labels with Boxem. It does it for you. They scan this when it checks in, and because it like embeds your box content information on there,
Put it up again. We got
okay.
No. With your face showing, family. With your face showing here. Oh.
Why?
He's gonna screenshot.
So you scan that barcode,
Rookie,
and
rookie.
it helps Amazon basically see what's in the box without opening it. So it helps your stuff check in faster. On average for my business, about 5 days faster we're making sales.
It's funny, like no one really knows why they're quicker, but they're quicker. It's one of those things where it's like you don't necessarily know exactly how they work, but they work.
Well, I think it's that they see more of the data when they scan in, so it's a different part of the warehouse because Amazon does recommend it. Like I would
assume it adds a step for them to check in the box.
Well, it decreases. Well, if anything, it decreases a step. Like it just.
Need to get a warehouse tour to see what's going on there, so we can get the concrete answer.
Yeah. They're still gonna scan every product though, so you just gotta wonder like.
Yeah, it's got to be a different part of the warehouse. The step, like Warner was saying, because seeing the extra data, you can move it around the warehouse quicker. I would assume.
Yep. Seller Central cannot create 2D barcodes, which is bizarre. But luckily Boxem is very affordable, so you can check out a trial today.
Literally makes no sense. It's free for 2 weeks. Okay.
Or you can get a free week trial with my free trial.
There you go.
And get
Corey's.
Or mine.
The thing is, my free trial is based on a leap year, so you actually get an extra day.
Ah, I see.
That's hilarious.
Heber, you got to add your address, your ship from address, my friend.
Any thoughts on adding estimated sales to the storefronts in SellerAmp?
Ooh,
could maybe there's a lot of data on there, but it is.
I don't imagine. I don't even know why it would be super valuable.
Yeah, I'm not a huge estimated sales guy. The rank and Keepa data is so much more important.
Yeah, he's talking about
in the name. Those are not an estimate, right? Those are hard data.
He's talking about like sellers revenue in the storefront.
Low key.
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't know. People like that though. That actually would make sense.
We got some fun ideas.
That would just end up getting messy on Twitter. I could already see it.
How long is seller identity verification? You must be fairly new. Usually it's like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. They just need to see like a real person. You just hold up your utility bill and stuff. I actually would be shocked if it was 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, it'll be nice and easy for you.
Exclusive. You don't need to use any of the like super automated stuff like that. Arbitrage Hero does integrate with SellerAmp, which is kind of nice. Like it'll show you where you can source it sometimes on the storefront view, but kind of accomplishes the same thing as the Google button.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys, so we're gonna hop off now. Make sure if you want more good content, check out the Black Box Bandits podcast. Check out all these guys' socials as well. We're going to be doing these streams every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, especially this time of year. It's really important that you show up, you ask questions. It's best time of year, get going with the stuff, best time of year scale as well. I posted a new YouTube video today that goes over products a lot of people automatically avoid that can totally actually be good right there. And then check out Boxem for 2 weeks for free. Get in some 2D barcodes, making a difference in a lot of people's business. We know it can make a difference in your business as well. Tons of cool features on the way. So go to boxem.com right now. Try that out for 2 weeks.
My boy rapping.
We'll see y'all soon.
Spit.
All right, see you guys. See y'all
Happy
soon.
Monday, y'all.
Compliment. Yeah, see y'all later.